So talk to me. What is this about?
This?
Mm-hmm.
This is my life? What do you mean?
Is it painful?
Mm.
No, what is the purpose of this documentary?
The purpose of this documentary is to make it okay to talk about mental illness in the black society. It's getting old.
Just for women, or specifically, or is it men and women? Is it black people?
So, I read that on the World Health Organization website, there's 485 million mentally ill people across the globe. And that's just people that we can count, that have like put their hand up and say, oh, I'm mentally ill, you know, in a survey that not everybody gets access to, period. But, and then there's 25% of people who are mentally ill don't know that they're mentally ill. That's research. So when I talk about it, I'm talking about for people. It's not no longer a race thing. You know, in the 70s they dropped the Valiums and all the benzos, but that was into the white society. And then it trickled on down to minorities, which in my opinion were never really supposed to have access to these types of medications. And then when it became a co-occurring issue, which was just like recently when the, again, no offense, Caucasian society started having a heroin and whatever kind of epidemic amongst their children, then it became a mental illness umbrella. And that was just like, for me, based upon my research, don't take my word for it, I've just been doing academic research up to the PhD level for 10 years, but that's like the last 5 years. Because...
Now, do you think this conversation will expand it more? Do you think people need to go to therapists to diagnose themselves and doctors?
I don't even feel that my view of the mental health community or mental illness is a mixture of Western and Eastern. So I don't think you need a diagnosis to know that your body is in shock. And you know you haven't been eating fruits and vegetables, so you're inflamed. And you don't pray, or you don't meditate, or control any of these hateful ass thoughts that we all have. And you don't exercise? Because that's mental illness.
It is.
Period. You want to take a pill, take a pill.
So you think the mental illness is starting from an actual diet? Possibly.
Mental illness starts from your mind. Because I know people that eat like shit, but they're so positive that, I mean, I had an ex-boyfriend who, he worked at Popeyes, and he was a country boy from Louisiana, and he had a twin brother, and both of them were just the same. It was like Pete and Paul. But they ate like crap. But they were the happiest people in the globe. And I watched The Secret, so I know. It's all about what you think.
It is.
And I've proved it. Because I have been on and off of SRIs, SSRIs, mood stabilizers, and benzos for, this will make like the 8th year. But I no longer take them at all because of how I think. And I'm never going to take them again. I take one of my meds as a PRN. And that's only because I'm in the last stage of tapering. And I have not found exactly what my lineage and my bloodline needs to fulfill a extremely severe low level of serotonin and dopamine production. So it's a mind thing in the sense that it's a spiritual thing and being mindful. It's a mind thing in the sense of what's inside your DNA. Like, I love this song, but I think it was at Meek Mill. He's like, I got royalty inside my DNA. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I can't say what you're dealing with versus what I'm dealing with for my people, because you're, whatever your percentages are, and I'm whatever mine are, and my family made different decisions.
So tell me a little bit about Brandolyn.
Me?
When was Brandolyn born?
I was born October 30th on 1992 on a Friday in the afternoon in Nassau Bay, across the street from the NASA Space Center. Like, literally.
Yeah, it is a hospital, right?
That's where I was born. My dad said there was chandeliers in there, and he had never seen a bird so beautiful, whatever. I was born to a Taurus mother and a Sagittarius father, so go figure. Oh my God. Shit. What they were thinking about. I actually asked my aunt that, though, when I was 12 years old. I was crying, and I asked my aunt, why did they even have me? And I meant it. Like, I was in tears. That was the first time I opened up to my father about my suicidal ideations, and he didn't even know what was going on.
This was when you were a kid, a toddler?
Because I've been suffering from depression since I was 10. But it was childhood depression, and then it advanced to what they call it now, which is MDD, major depressive disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. I was wrongfully diagnosed with bipolar disorder for
Now, when you say that, I've actually heard that misdiagnosis before.
Oh, it's really sad.
As well as ADD or ADHD.
Oh, yeah. They tried to give my daughter ADD. It's not. My doctor, and I'm not going to say his name, and I'm not going to say where he works, because I don't want this guy, anything to happen to him. But anyway, he told me that that's a frequent thing. In the last decade, which is right when the stigma was put into my mind first by someone who didn't, they were just trying to prepare me for what could be. And that's important too, so I'll go back there. But he said that, my doctor, that a lot of people are diagnosed with bipolar disorder basically because of the lack of synchronization between, I would say, the DSM-3 to 5. The DSM-4 was a reflection of what, like, the baby boomers time, and I'm a millennial. And then the DSM-5 is kind of like almost going 10 years in the future of where we are now.
No, when you say DSM, what is that?
Don't have me lying. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual.
Okay.
Because it's a science that's been developed in the psychiatric community.
Yes.
There are certain questions I'm going to ask you that's going to put you on a bell curve. And then there are certain behaviors that are going to, behaviors, characteristics, and or tendencies, however the hell you want to look at it. Not characteristics either, characterizations. And then that score, however you look at that qualitatively or quantitatively, becomes a percentage. And depending on how high that percentage is, you'll be considered this minus this. Now, but I have a great appreciation for the DSM-5 in the sense that it synchronized all those books before it, which was very difficult. Back in the day, I'll be honest with you, I know this DSM book, period, as the pill book. some would say, and I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree, that psychiatry was developed for people to have to take pills. I'm not going to say whether I agree or disagree, to what extent, or expound upon that extent at all. But I will say that modern medicine has its place if you allow it. Or if you desire it. Or if your body is in such a need for something right now. Because that's a big thing. As a disclaimer, which I'm going to post this at the beginning, I'm not encouraging anybody to stop taking their medication. That was a personal decision that I have been making for the past almost 3 years. So I do not encourage anyone, if you do want to do that, to cold turkey anything. And do not do it until you have a complete and total metaphysical understanding of who you are and what you're trying to do. Because that's going to give you your answer.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Dr. Umar Johnson has been talking on that as well.
yeah.
The misdiagnosis of African American kids in
Well,
schools.
Yeah, ADHD is popular. That's all I can say. Ritalin is too. But
So you grew up rough childhood. Not necessarily rough.
it took me a long time to get to this point, but my people did the best they could with what they had. And they didn't have a lot.
Do you hold that against them?
No, not anymore. Do I want to associate myself with certain people just because we're relatives? No. Do I feel like I have to? Hell no.
Does that affect your life?